Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're heading to Pune, India. You might know it as the Oxford of the East, a really vibrant place packed with history.
That's right.
But what's really going on there? We want to sort of dig into what makes Pune so, well, unique and appealing based on everything you shared with us.
Yeah, our goal today is really to peel back those layers. We'll look at how Poonsi's deep history isn't just, history. It's actually woven right into its modern life as this buzzing center for learning, culture, tech.
A real blend then.
Exactly. A fascinating mix of old traditions and really forward-thinking stuff.
Okay, so let's talk about that history. I mean, deep roots, right? How important was Pune, say, back in the Maratha Empire days, or later with India's independence movement? Can you still sort of feel that history there now?
Oh, absolutely pivotal. It wasn't just a center, it was the center of power for the Marathas. Under the Peshwas, they were the powerful prime ministers, basically.
Right, the Peshwas.
Yeah. And it wasn't just politics, its role in the freedom struggle, the whole Indian Renaissance, that really cemented its kind of intellectual, nationalistic spirit. You definitely feel it.
So where would you see that today?
Well, you've got landmarks like Shanwarwada, this amazing fortified palace, and the Aga Khan Palace, which is beautiful but also really significant for the freedom movement, and Sinagod Fort. It's this commanding fort, played a huge strategic role. These aren't just ruins, they're like living parts of the city's story.
So that history isn't just in the past, it's actually shaping the city now.
Precisely. That foundation provides this strong sense of identity, even with all the rapid change happening.
Which kind of makes sense then why it's called the Oxford of the East, that historical weight, that intellectual vibe. What makes its education scene so well regarded?
Well, that historical focus on learning definitely set the stage. You've got really prestigious places like Ferguson College, historically significant, so many important alumni. Savitribai Phule Pune University, massive, highly respected, and the Film and Television Institute of India, FTII, super influential in Indian cinema.
Right, FTII. So it's a big draw for students.
Huge. It pulls in talent from all over India and internationally, too.
So with all that brain power, has Pune become a big deal in terms of like industry and new businesses too?
Yeah.
How did it go from academia to economic powerhouse?
Yeah, it's a great example of a city that really leveraged its strengths. It didn't just happen. That academic base sort of seeded the ground for the IT boom.
Oh, okay.
The Rajiv Gandhi Infotech Park in Hinjawadi is, the classic example. Global names are there: Infosys, Wipro, TCS.
The big ones.
The big ones. And then building on that tech strength, it also developed this really strong automotive sector. That's where the Detroit of India nickname comes from.
Makes sense.
You've got Tata Motors, Bajaj Auto, even Mercedes-Benz has operations there. It's successfully diversified using that intellectual capital.
And I hear the startup scene is buzzing too. Tech, ed tech, even green energy.
Absolutely. It's fertile ground for innovation. That intellectual energy keeps fueling new ventures.
Okay, so beyond the jobs and the colleges,
Yeah.
what's the actual vibe like?
Yeah.
The culture, the lifestyle, you said it's a blend. This is where it gets really interesting for me.
Right. And it is interesting because you have this large, young student crowd mixed with a growing cosmopolitan population. It creates this really dynamic feel.
So tradition meets modern life.
Totally. Like, you've got a renowned classical music scene. The Sawai Gandharva Bhimsen Festival is massive, but it exists alongside, cutting-edge tech talks.
Right.
There's thriving theater, lots of literature.
And the food. I always hear about the food.
Oh, the food is fantastic. You have the traditional stuff. Got to try misal pav. It's this spicy curry. And vada pav, the potato fritter sandwich. It's everywhere.
Classic street food.
Exactly. But also loads of international restaurants, too. It caters to everyone.
Sounds like a great mix. And is it easy to get away from the city buzz if you need a break?
Yeah, that's another plus. Pune's got lovely natural surroundings nearby. You can easily get to hill stations like Lonavala or Khandala for the weekend.
Nice.
And places like Sinhagad Fort aren't just historical sites. They're popular for trekking, especially during the monsoon. So you get that balance, city life and nature escapes.
Okay, one last thing I've heard. Pune has this spiritual side too. Something about meditation.
It does, yeah. It's quite a unique aspect. The Osho International Meditation Resort is probably the most famous example. It draws people from all over the globe.
For meditation and wellness.
Exactly. And beyond Osho, there's a growing scene for yoga retreats, wellness centers, Ayurvedic treatments. It taps into that slightly more serene side of the region.
So putting it all together for you listening, Pune really seems like this compelling package, doesn't it? A rich blend of opportunity, culture, history, and just, well, livability.
Mm-hmm.
It's clearly a place where that deep history and cutting-edge innovation aren't fighting each other. They're actually working together.
Which really leads to a fascinating question, I think. How does a city like Pune actually manage that? How does it weave together its profound historical identity, its intellectual roots, with all this incredibly rapid tech and cultural change? It kind of sets an interesting example for growth in our modern world, doesn't it?